Manchester United nil, Arsenal 1 in our first Premier League game of the season. And what can I say? I'm disappointed with the loss, of course, but I don't think we played that bad in all honesty. And to be honest, I think a draw would have probably been a fair result in the grand scheme of things, because it's not like as if we didn't play well necessarily throughout the game. I thought we played pretty well for the 90 minutes. We had more shots on target. I think Arsenal might have beaten us with the XG due to the goal that Calafiori scored, but in terms of overall, I don't think it was that bad, and there are some promising signs, I'll be honest. And I'm not kind of being too pessimistic with regards to the season. Of course, I'm disappointed with the loss, but let's get into the starting 11. So, Bayinde started in goal, of course. I thought Onana would have possibly been fit, but he didn't even make the bench, unfortunately for him. So Bayinde started in goal. Euro, Delete, Shaw making up the back three. Dalot, Casemiro, Bruno and Dogu making up the four in midfield. And Mount and Mbeumo in the inside 10 positions. And then Cunha up front. So in terms of United starting 11, the only changes from my lineup were that Bayinde, Dalot and Mount started ahead of Onana, Ahmad and Sesko. Personally, I would have started with Ahmad and Sesko, for that attacking threat. I'm not saying that we lacked a focal point. And during the game, I felt like the front three, Mount and Mbeumo and Cunha, had a good first half, and we started really well. I think the first 10 minutes it was good. We settled into the game really well, and it was promising. Things were looking good. And Mbeumo has a good shot in the 6th minute, but it's an easy save by Raya. And I think in the first opening, I'd say 10 minutes, in the first 20 minutes, I felt like as if Man United probably edged it a little bit, but unfortunately Arsenal do get the lead in the 12th minute. Arsenal make it 1-0 from a corner. This is from Bayinde, unfortunately. Rice swings in a corner. Bayinde is nowhere near strong enough from the corner, and it's an amazing delivery from Declan Rice, and Calafiori is there to head home from close range. I think the XG for that goal was 0.99 or whatever. And I was fearing the set-piece delivery from Rice, and I mentioned it in my preview, and unfortunately they score from it, and Arsenal go 1-0 up. But in the first half, it's not like as if we didn't have our own chances. Dogu in the 29th minute breaks free down the left and hits it with his left foot, and it comes off the right hand side of the post, and that could have gone in. Cunha then in the 32nd minute breaks through the middle of the Arsenal team, right through the centre of Gabriel and Saliba, and he should score, unfortunately, but his shot is saved by Raya. Cunha then has another shot in the 37th minute, and Raya has to dive low to save it well as well. Cunha and Mbeumo, especially in the first half, looked really, really threatening. In terms of halftime summary, in possession playing out, I felt like as if we were bad sometimes. That still needs some work. Sometimes in the match we would go back to Bayinde and we would go long to no one. And if we were going to go long, you might as well have started Sesko, because he's like a focal point that we could use. 6-foot striker, 6'5" striker, which we can use, in terms of if you want to go long, then we do have that target man. But Man United were getting some joy going forward when Arsenal left their fullbacks high up the pitch, and Mbeumo and Cunha were particularly dangerous going forward, especially in the first half. So in the first half, we had more possession, more shots as well. Arsenal did have the higher of the XG, because Calafiori headed home from close range, but I didn't think we were a million miles away from Arsenal. I thought in the first half it was pretty even, and then the second half kicks off that starting lineup that Ruben Amorim did go for personally, and then the second half kicks off. And personally, I would have made some substitutions early on in the second half. I think Ahmad and Sesko I would have bought on at half time for Mount, for Dalot and Mount. But United do make a substitution in the 55th minute. Dalot does go off for Ahmad, and then Casemiro and Mount do go off for Ugarte and Sesko in the 65th minute. And then in the 73rd minute, Raya has to make a really, really good save again. Dogu puts in a cross from the left-hand side, and Mbeumo head towards goal, but Raya makes a good save. And then finally in the 80th minute, Man United make another final substitution. Shaw goes off, and then Maguire comes on. And then apart from that, that was it really. In terms of the second half, I think both teams kind of cancelled each other out. Both teams were really good defensively, and our threat was in the transition when we won the ball back and we released Cunha and Mbeumo on the break. We looked our most threatening. In the second half, I think we had 10 shots, 2 on target, which necessarily isn't really good enough. We need more shots on target, in my opinion. Arsenal only had 4 shots with 0 on target as well. So in terms of overall, not many chances in the second half. And then what we'll do now is we'll get into some player ratings, and then we'll have a look at the stats as well. Bayinde has got a 6.0 here. He did make an error that led to the goal for Arsenal, unfortunately. So I think a case can be made for upgrading our keepers. I think Onana and Bayinde left a lot to be desired, in my opinion, and unfortunately Bayinde does make an error that leads to the goal for Arsenal in the 13th minute, headed from Calafiori. 0.99 XG. In terms of accurate passes, 33 out of 43, 77% accurate long balls, 8 out of 18. He was okay. It wasn't too bad, but like I said, he made an error that led to the goal, and you can't be doing that at this level. Lenny Yoro, I thought he played really well. In only 19 years of age, he looks like a decent signing from last season. 61 passes completed, and I thought he played really well. 61 out of 67 accurate passes. I think the back three can't be faulted really too much. I think we contained Arsenal pretty well, in my opinion. Touches 85, passes into the final third 5, 4 out of 7 accurate long balls. Tackles 1, 2 out of 2. Duels, he won 7 out of 11, which is not bad. Ground duels, you could be winning a little bit more of his ground duels. Only 2 out of 6 ground duels won, which he could be doing better there. De Ligt, I thought he was okay as well. He covered the least distance in the match of any outfield player to play 90 minutes. He did have a header here in the 90th minute, which he could be doing a little bit better with the header there. 50 out of 87 accurate passes, 88%, and then defense, he won 1 out of 2 of his tackles, 2 blocks, 6 clearances, 4 headed clearances, defensive contributions with 10, and then duels he's won 8 out of 14 of his duels, which is pretty decent. Maybe he could be winning a little bit of more of his aerial duels, but I think that we kept Gyökeres pretty quiet, and he kept Gyökeres pretty quiet, in my opinion. Shaw also played well. I think our back three played pretty decently well. We did dominate ball possession, but a lot of it was recycled between the back three and the two in midfield. And in terms of his accurate passes, 45 out of 58, could be doing a little bit better there. 1 chance created as well. Touches 63, passes into the final third 6, accurate long balls 4 out of 7 with 57%. Tackles 1 out of 3. Duels he's won 6 out of 8, which is okay as well. He had an okay performance. I don't think we played necessarily too bad. Dalot won 1 out of 1 of his duels. I think going forward he was a little bit poor. He could be doing a little bit better going forward, and that's why I would have preferred to start Ahmad. 14 out of 15 accurate passes with 93%, and then Casemiro, distance covered 7.7 kilometers, which is decent. Accurate passes 24 out of 31 with 77%. Duels he's won 6 out of 7 of his duels, which is alright. Again, he had a decent performance. I don't think he necessarily put a foot wrong. Bruno Fernandes, 7 out of 12 duels won altogether. He could be doing a little bit better with his ground duels, only winning 6 out of 11 of his duels, 55%. In terms of accurate passes, 46 out of 55. Chances created, 5. He's playing in the double pivot, and he's created 5 chances. And it's unfortunate that none of them were kind of created into clear goal scoring opportunities, unfortunately. Patrick Dogu, 76%, 22 out of 29 accurate passes. I thought he was okay as well. He won the most duels of the match. He hit the woodwork once, in two of his shots. He was the most fouled player, but he looks dangerous as well going down that left side, that left wing back position. I think he could be offering a lot to us as well. Minutes played 90, of course. And then in terms of his duels, he's won 11 out of 18 of his duels, which is alright as well. He's won the majority of his duels there. But yeah, unfortunately, he did have this strike in the 30th minute which came from a fast break situation. Left-footed strike comes off the post. That could have gone in. I think we were a little bit unlucky, I'll be honest with you, going forward. Mbeumo, moving on to Mbeumo now. He had a total of 5 shots. Have a look at his shot map. One in the 6th minute, which was from regular play. 25th minute, 69th minute again, 73rd minute. We had a lot of shots, but a lot of them were blocked by Arsenal's defence, and I have to say that Arsenal did defend pretty well. They are coming away with a clean sheet. Accurate passes, 23 out of 29, 79%. In terms of his duels, he's only won 4 out of 9, which he could be doing a little bit better there, unfortunately for him. And then Cunha, I thought Cunha played pretty well as well. He looked pretty threatening. He had a couple of shots as well. Mbeumo and Cunha we've definitely leveled up in terms of going forward. Last season it would have been Bruno or it would have been Garnacho and Xerxes or Bruno or whatever. But in terms of our front three, we've definitely leveled up with the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo. Accurate passes, 14 out of 16, 88%. He did have this shot here in the 33rd minute, which was saved. Then in the 34th minute as well. In the 38th minute, he has another shot, and then in the 89th minute, he has another shot. So we are coming away with a couple of shots at Arsenal's goal, but unfortunately they're just not going in. Or Raya's making some decent saves as well. One chance created, and in terms of his duels, he's won 8 out of 20. I think he could be doing a little bit better there. Only 1 out of 6 aerial duels won, which he could be doing better. And then Mount, he was playing in the I think he was playing in the left 10, and then Cunha was up front, but Mount was decent as well in the first half. But personally, like I said, I would have started Sesko because I think we lacked a little bit of a focal point going forward. I would have thrown in Sesko right from the beginning. 2 chances created as well. He's got 2 shots as well. Blocked again in the 44th minute. Then in the 49th minute is blocked as well. Arsenal's defence, I have to say, did play pretty well. They blocked a lot of United's shots, and it's a little bit unlucky, this result, I think. Touches in the opposition box, 6. Passes into final third, 6 as well. Accurate long balls, 4 out of 6. 0 out of 1 accurate crosses. Tackles, 1 out of 1. Duels, he didn't really get involved in too many duels. 2 out of 4 duels won. So that's United's starting 11. In terms of substitutes, I thought Ahmad played really well when he came on. He looked like a threat going forward. He is still missing some kind of link play with Bruno a couple of times going forward. I felt like as if I felt like as if Ahmad and Mbeumo weren't necessarily on the same wavelength. But one shot here, which was saved again by Raya. A little bit of a speculative effort in the 77th minute. Accurate passes, 16 out of 19. But I think he definitely levels us up going forward. He is definitely better than Dalot going forward. 29 touches, 6 touches in the opposition box, and he was only on the pitch for 36 minutes, which is decent. From right wing back as well. Tackles won 1 out of 3. Duels won 7 out of 7. So he's won all of his duels, which is pretty decent. And then Ugarte as well. He comes on, didn't win any of his duels, and then he gives away a foul, but it is what it is. 17 out of 18 accurate passes, 94%. Chances created, only 1. But yeah, he came on, and he came on for Casemiro, and he was average at best, I suppose. But like I said, with Manuel Ugarte, he did give away the ball, and that almost led to an Arsenal chance, and Arsenal could have scored from that when he plays a blind pass back to Maguire, and I think he's picked up by an Arsenal player. I forgot who it was, and Arsenal could have scored from a Manuel Ugarte error. Thankfully, they didn't. Benjamin Sesko comes on as well, and he lasts 26 minutes. He has 2 shots as well, and I would have started him right from the off, but 4 out of 5 accurate passes. He was a little bit quiet when he came on, I'll be honest with you, but he wasn't. I think that we weren't really looking for him when he came on. We weren't really playing to his strengths. We need to play to Benjamin Sesko's strengths, which is obviously crosses into the box and running in behind as well, which he can stretch that defence. And then shots, only 2 but none of them were on target. 4 touches in the opposition box, which is alright. 7 touches as well. So he is getting in the box. He is getting his shots off as well. 74th minute, which went wide, and then in the 90th minute, which was way wide as well. In terms of his duels, he's won 1 out of 3 of his duels, which is not great, of course. Harry Maguire comes on, and then he lasts 11 minutes as well, and he wasn't really on the pitch for too long. Lost both of his duels, and that's it really in terms of United. We didn't use our final substitute. We could have bought Kobe Mainoo on or Xerxes, but Ruben Amorim decided not to. In terms of Raya, I have to say he did come off man of the match. He was player of the match with an 8.6 rating here on FootMob. 7 saves he made, and I'll be honest with you, they were some decent saves. Some of them, I think that Mbeumo header that we had, that was in the 73rd minute. That came from a fast break as well. It was from a cross from Dogu. That could have gone in, but unfortunately it wasn't to be for United, and we do come away with a loss. But overall, I think we played well. If we have a look at the stats here, we did dominate ball possession. It's surprising to me. I did not think that we would be dominating ball possession, especially a team against Arsenal. I know we're at home. I know we're at Old Trafford. I know the onus is on us to kind of dominate the ball and stuff. But I fully expected Arsenal to come in and dominate ball possession. And I did mention in my preview, I thought that it would have been best for us if Arsenal had dominated ball possession. Then we would have had more space to counter on the break. We beat Arsenal on the XG with 1.59. We had 22 shots compared to Arsenal's 9. 7 shots on target compared to Arsenal's 3. We didn't create any big chances, unfortunately. Arsenal created one big chance, which I do think they put away, which was that Calafiori header. In terms of accurate passes, we do beat Arsenal on that as well. But in terms of physical performance, I think Arsenal covered more ground than us. They did more running, more sprinting, more number of sprints, and in terms of that, yeah, they do beat us in terms of physical performance here. But I think we are a little bit unlucky not to be coming away with at least a point. I think we deserved at least a point in my opinion. Like I said, we're dominating the shots. We're dominating the passes as well. We're dominating play. We won the majority. We won more duels than Arsenal as well. More ground duels won. More aerial duels won. More successful dribbles as well. And it's unfortunate that we're basically losing to a set piece goal. And I did mention Declan Rice's delivery was to be kind of looking out for, and I did mention that in my preview. Unfortunately, we weren't able to defend from the set piece well. But yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, Arsenal do come away with all 3 points, and what can I say? It is a disappointing result, disappointing start to the season. But Arsenal are a decent side, but it's just sad kind of how it's ended, because I do feel like we played really, really well. I think not really, really well, but we deserved at least a point. You know what I mean? I think Mbeumo had a couple of chances, Cunha had a couple of chances to make it to equalise, and Mbeumo, Mbeumo and Cunha particularly looked very dangerous for us. And Sesko came on, and although he didn't really didn't get involved too much, if we can play to Sesko's strengths, which is balls into the box. He is 6'5". He can score from a header. He is physically strong as well, and link play, he is decent as well. If we can play to Sesko's strengths and hopefully get him on the ball, then I think we can have a decent season. So overall, disappointed with the loss, of course. But it is what it is. We begin our Premier League campaign with a loss. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.